All right, so before diving into the functionality of advanced Microsoft Teams features, I would just like to quickly have a recap. In the last session, we covered for the following features that I mentioned right here. So first, we started with the basics, that what were the first 10 things you can do when you just start using Microsoft Teams. So I showed you how you can just simply begin with a chat, how you can pick up a team and channel, you can start a meeting, how to make video calls, audio calls, replying to a particular set of conversation, how to put down mentions, adding emojis, GIFs, and how to add a tab in a channel, sharing files, working with files, and then we also talked about the meeting and calling live captions. So live captions, as in we talked about that if you are like in a very loud place and you can't use the speakers or headphones, you can still follow the discussion with the live captions help. So you can enable it while you are in a Teams meeting. Then we had a spotlight and individual video participant for all attendees in a Teams meeting. So what we could do here is
Hi,
that as a
Kanan.
yeah.
Kanan, sorry to disturb, but we still to have the session one. We have not yet completed this session one. Just for your
uh,
information.
All right. So, how about let me just have a recap about what were these features. Most of them will be talking about today again. Few of them. The basic part have been already completed in the first seminar. So, what you can do is please let us ping us on. Keep your just ping us on the chat that you have not attended and put down your email. We'll surely send you the last meeting recording. How about that? All right. That's easy, right?
Yes. Recording will be. I mean, Sejal has promised us that she'll send us the recording of the basic session. But
Uh-huh.
basic session, we are trying to rearrange it on the 7th, I guess.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we'll have the basic session, one more session which will be focused on the team basics. So that will be in the second next week. So
All
for
right,
now,
definitely.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, you consider that basic session is not yet completed. So this advanced session, you can take it up accordingly.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'll try to do is also, if while I'm talking around it, then I'll show you where the feature is like also located. That might help you to understand where exactly I'm pointing out to. Then coming back, we were talking about spotlighting an individual participant. So what we did here is that as a presenter, I'll be able to pin an individual video feed for all the attendees to see during a Teams meeting. Okay. So once, for example, I have pinned one particular video, then as you all are attendees, then that particular video will only be streamed to on your screen. Then we had together mode, so it was like a virtual filter for your meetings that helps all the members appear in a very collective virtual space. Last time I showed you that this functionality appeared under only an setting of an auditorium, but this time we have updated features on the same one. Then we have prevent attendees from unmuting in Teams meeting. So I hope you guys saw that while this was going on, I put down everyone on mute all. So this is one feature that I talked about. Then we have chat and collaboration set present status duration. So what we did here is that um, like this is to let others know that when you are not available on Microsoft Teams, so you can just go and change your presence to, let's say, offline or away, and this will also allow you to have full access to Teams by signaling to your colleagues that you are unavailable for this current duration. Then we had AI-based noise separation, which helped us, to this feature automatically removes all the unwelcome background noise during your meetings. So I showed you how to enable that. Then we have end of meeting notification. So as for example, we are approaching towards the end of a meeting, and as a presenter, it would just notify me that only 5 minutes are left. Then I will get to know that okay, fine, this is now the time I need to conclude. And as on your end as well, you will be notified that okay, the 5 minutes of this meetings are left. So that is one another feature we had. Then adding a shared calendar to our Teams channel. So what happened here is that, for example, if we are having a Teams channel and in that particular group there are certain number of members that we have, a schedule for this whole project, then you can make a shared calendar, so it will be only visible to those people who are under that channel. And then we had introduction to Microsoft Viva. Microsoft Viva is a complete platform which is an employee experience platform which is bringing together so many features all together: communications, knowledge, learning, resources, insights, and so on. So this is what we talked about in the last seminar. Today, we'll be talking about more of those features, which you will be able to use in your day-to-day office routine while you are using Microsoft Teams. So moving ahead, let's find out how you can best employ Microsoft Teams in your office environment. Okay, first one we have is the live transcription with speaker attribution. So we have all been in situations where we are being a meeting late. Okay, that's pretty much possible. So you don't want to interrupt the flow, but still you need to catch up quickly. So, or also it is possible, for accessibility reasons or ambient noise situations, you need help following the conversation and understanding who is actually speaking. So don't you guys think that it would be great to have a transcription with speaker attribution, which is built into this meeting itself? So what Microsoft has done is they are providing live transcription, which is allowing you to follow and review the conversations alongside the meeting video or audio in real time. Now, I would say this promotes inclusivity for all the participants who have, let's say, even hearing disabilities or different levels of language proficiency. Also, attendees who have joined late, missed the meeting, can easily catch up by reading what was discussed or just searching the transcript by the speaker. Just to add to this, tenant admins must turn on the allow transcription policy to enable this feature. The policy is allow transcription. Let me just restate it. And the meeting organizer or a presenter can start this transcription. After the meeting, the saved transcription is actually available for reference, and you can also download it into your Teams for desktop and web. Let me just show you how it can be done. As of now, I believe it has already been enabled. Let me show you how we can do that. All you need to do is go to more options. Okay, this is how this meeting surface looks like. Okay, let me meeting experience look like. Here on this three dots, you just need to go here. Now here, can you see it has been already started the transcription, but all you need to do is there will be a place where it is written start transcription instead of stop transcription. You just need to click it and the transcription will be ready. So even today we'll be sharing the transcription post this meeting. So this is one feature that we have with Microsoft Teams. Next one is the improved experience for sharing content in a meeting. Okay, so lately the new share content experience, it is helping the presenters find their desired content very quickly and easily. So how that works out is that windows are consolidated into a single bucket to provide a very concise view, and also all PowerPoints are automatically organized to present with PowerPoint Live. All now you need to do is you can focus on the content of what you are sharing instead of rummaging through the correct content to share in your meeting. So right now, how to show you is, let me see. Right now, if I'll click here, it will just show me stop sharing, but I don't want to do that. All you need to do is you will have to go here. It will start, show you start meeting. Okay, under this you will have 4 set of options. The 4 set of options are, I hope you can see in this, but let me just state them. One is share your desktop. So you can do it if you want to share your entire screen, which I've done right. When I am sharing my entire screen, what happens is that I'll be seamlessly able to share multiple windows at a time. Okay. Then we have the second option as share your window. So when with window, what you can do is you only need to show one thing. Okay, you know that one particular window of let's say you have opened Chrome, then you need to show only that one particular one, then you can do that. And what will happen with this is that you only need to show one thing and you want to keep the rest of your screen to yourself. So that is under share your window. Then you have share your PowerPoint. Okay, so this is one latest feature that we have. Present a power. This is to, if you want to present a PowerPoint file, others can just interact with. Okay, so this is like a live feed. What will happen here is that you need to share your presentation, and here if you want others to be able to move through it at their own pace. So that is another one we have. So I hope you can see here under SharePoint Live. So it will show you all the list that you might have recently opened. And then we have is Microsoft Whiteboard. Okay, so it helps you to collaborate with others in real time. For example, you want to sketch with others and have your notes attached to this meeting, then you can just share the Microsoft Whiteboard. So these are the prime features. Last time I covered about Microsoft Whiteboard that you can also enable it under read-only mode. Next option is we have is include the computer sound. So when I'm presenting something, usually when I just enable my mic, you can only hear what I'm speaking. But for example, right now this is an image, okay? But in case if it would have been a video and there is sound attached to this video, okay, and when I'm presenting it, I want it that this video sound is also heard at your end. So what I'll do is I'll just toggle this that include computer sound. So that improves the experience overall in when you are sharing your screen and showing videos. So these were some of the features that we have. I hope this experience of sharing content helps in your day-to-day routine. Then we have is the multi-window experience. Okay, so I would say this experience is pretty much helpful. Previously, what used to happen is that if you're working with Microsoft Teams, then your chat, I hope, can you see in the screen that your chat window and your video, the meeting window, okay, these both were attached under one, okay, so you were not able to toggle between the two. But now what is happening is that if, for example, you are working with a multi-screen setup, okay, right now, for example, you have two desktops or one laptop and a different screen, you can work like that, okay. So what you will be able to do is that under one screen, you can put up your Microsoft Teams chat, and on another, you can have the meeting live broadcast going on, okay. So what this will enable is that you'll be able to multitask at a time, and ultimately this will help you to optimize your work with Microsoft Teams. So this is pretty much helpful in when you are having a meeting and calling experience, and while still you want to chat, you can do this. Next is we are having meeting recap. Okay, so with meeting recap, Teams now is providing a recap of all the Teams meetings. So let's say the participants and also those who couldn't make it to the meeting, all of them can review a completed meeting. So in the past there was a meeting, I couldn't join it, but I still can have all the recap. So a recap including the meeting recording, transcript, chat, the shared files, and everything are all automatically shared under this. Can you see under this meeting tab, under this chat tab, and all of these things will be viewable under the details tab, okay. Organizers will also be able to find the attendance report here itself. Can you see right here? So right now I haven't enabled it, but once you enable this from your end, it is, I am pretty much sure that it is very helpful. So in case there was a scheduled meeting, okay, and you are now going to have a follow-up with the same client. Under that situation, this is pretty much helpful. It will help. You can have all your chat. Under the details tab, you will have the recording, transcript, notes, or any of the files that you had shared, the meeting notes, the recording and transcript. All the tabs are right here. The attendance report is right here. So meeting recap is pretty much helpful when you are, when you are engaged with one of the client and you have to follow up in, let's say, every 15 days, then this is pretty much helpful in that scenario. Next is, okay, next one we have is Meet Now in Outlook client for Windows and Teams. Okay, so this feature, it is helpful when you say you can just start an instant Teams meeting. This is possible from both the views. You can start from calendar and your Outlook. Let me show you how you can do this. Just to add to this, to enable this feature, tenant admins just have to set the allow private meet now policy, okay, option to true in the admin console. If you do that, you will be able to access this. And there are a couple of different ways to get an impromptu meeting going with just a few clicks. Let me show you how that works out. Let me switch to my live environment, how it works out. Okay, this is my live, and what you can do is, just a sec, let me switch to, this is my one of the environment. This is my Teams chat. Okay, now let me go to my calendar. Okay, this is my calendar, and from here all I need to do is select this meeting now. When I do meet now, can you see that you will be, what are the options you get is you will be able to put down the title and okay, I'm so sorry for this. It's just it needs to refresh to show you the meet now feature. Sorry, just a sec, give me one moment. So meet now feature is pretty much helpful when just a second. All right, so this meet now feature, it will be helpful when in the scenarios, when you need to just instantly start this meeting with one of your colleague. We at our end use this. So a one-to-one meeting, or even this is very much useful when you're having a conversation in or Teams channels. Okay, and in respect to that one particular chat, okay, you had with the person, you can start the meet now option. So let me show you with meet now. What you can do is you get a shareable link, and then you can just start the meeting. When you start, I'm not going to start this meeting is because it will give me the option to choose the video and preferred audio source. But you can try this out at your end. The second option is that you can try it through channel. Okay, so let me go to my Teams. This is my general channel. Okay, what now I'll do is under this post tab. Okay, this is one of my channel. I'll go to general. Let me go to my post tab. Can you see here the meet option? Now under this I have also two options, meet now and schedule a meeting. So meet now is an instant meeting, while scheduling is like you are predefining that at a particular point of time you will be having a meeting. Okay, now under this same under the meet now option, you will have the same options that you can just type in your type in the meeting title. You can set again your preferred video source, your audio source, and also please note that you will be able to add people once you have joined the meeting, not before the meeting. Okay, under the meet now option. If you want them to be notified previously from, then what you need to do is you need to share them the link. How do you get the link is by meet now. You will have a shareable link. So that is one another option. Okay, I did talk about that. For example, now under this post options, we had added this. Let's say I had this one particular conversation with this person. Okay, now in respect to this one particular conversation, I want that a meeting should be initiated. What I'll do is, just give me one moment, I'll click on reply. Let me start here. There you go. When I clicked on reply, it is giving me the option of meet now again. So and as soon as I click on that meet now, what will happen is that this particular chat, it will become the title of my meeting. So these are some of the options that you'll have with meet now. The same feature is also available via your Outlook. Let me show you how. Go to your Outlook. With Outlook, you have it right here on the top, Meet Now. Also, if for example you want to start a meeting, um, let me show you the desktop version, how that looks like. This is my desktop version. Under the desktop version, you have New Teams Meeting and Meet Now, both the options now. Previously, it used to show only Skype and New Teams Meeting, but now we have Meet Now option. So these are the few features that we have with Microsoft Teams lately. Okay, so moving on to the next feature. Okay, so the next feature that we have is the new bypass lobby options. So, okay, the Teams meeting policy, they keep on changing from time to time, and they, lately they have brought up a setting which will allow certain, set of users to bypass the meeting lobby and join the meeting directly. So even I hope you guys might have noticed that when you guys joined the meeting, there was no one allowing, there was not, you didn't have to wait in the lobby, you were directly able to jump into the meeting environment. So that was one setting that we did today. I'll show you how you can do that. But talking about this in more specification is that lately there have been two more options under this. One is that people in my organization, which excludes the guests, and people in my organization, trusted organization, and the guests. So I'll show you how these two features work, but I would say that this provides another level of security and flexibility to the Teams users. Let me just state a few of the facts, and then I'll show you the live how you can conduct this. Then we have is a new meeting setting, which will automatically send those who were not originally invited by the organizer to the lobby. So for example, if I today, I hope you guys all got a meeting invite. Okay, now you guys, I was the organizer, you were all the invitees. Now as an invitee, if you guys forward a meeting invitation to one of your colleagues, okay, and when that person tries to join, they will be directed to wait in the lobby while the host selects to admit them. Okay, what is happening is that this helps prevent those uninvited from joining the meeting, but since we invited you, you are directly jumping into the meeting environment. Then we have is assigning the presenter role in meeting. Okay, I will show you how you can do that, but presenter role is that by default everyone option is actually selected, and this will enable everyone who joins the meeting with the presenter permission and capabilities. But in case even during the meeting as an organizer, or I would like to change this participants role, I can definitely do that. Let me show you how we can do all these three. Just one moment, let me switch to the live environment. And so here I am on this my Teams environment. Let me go back to the calendar. All right. Please note we have again two options. Either you schedule a meeting or you do an instant meeting. The options for both of them remain same. Now let me show you what we can do is, for example, I creating a new meeting right now. Let's say what is that we are doing a schedule meeting options. Okay, I'll be showing the meeting options to you, and let me put down one of the attendee. Okay, and let me just hit send. So this is what we have scheduled a meeting. Okay, now what happens is that, let me expand this. I expanded this view. Now can you see I'm getting here an option which is known as meeting options. Okay, let me just state that this is pretty much visible under this three dots usually if you are under the desktop version. Since I'm currently using the web version, I can see it right here on this top. So what I'll do is I'll be going to meeting options now. So this is going to redirect me. Okay, now let me show you what options do we have with this. One, who can bypass the lobby. So you have following options right here. Right now I've selected people in my organization guests, but let me start with everyone. So when I say everyone means you don't any it's like you don't want anyone to wait in this lobby to be admitted in the meeting. You want that everyone will be able to join as soon as they click on join link. Then we have people in my organization, trusted organization, and guests. So under this, people in your team's organization, external participants, or from trusted organizations that you have, then the guests, all of them can directly jump into this meeting. They don't have to wait in this lobby. Then again, we have people in my organization and guests. Under this, what happens is that people in your organization and guests, including those who have different email domain than mine, they can all get into this meeting directly. So I would say this is best recommended when you want all your external people, who is anyone outside your organization except the guests, to wait in the lobby so you can approve them one by one. Then you have is people in my organization. So people in your organization, they can directly jump into the meeting, but everyone else needs to wait in the lobby. Then we have people I invite, and then you have this turn of allow forwarding in the meeting event. So what happens with this option is that anyone who receives the invitation, okay, including to those whom it's been forwarded, will join the meeting directly. So this doesn't include distribution lists. People must be invited individually right here. And so also, if you don't want people to forward this invite to others, you can turn off the allow forwarding invitation. You can do that. And then we have is the last option as only me. With only me, what happens is that only I as a meeting organization, only I can get into the meeting directly. Even the people in my organization, they need to wait. So these are some of the few options that you will have. Next option that we have is I'll always let callers bypass the lobby. So can you see that there is a toggle button right here? So you will see when this setting is actually enabled, people calling in by phone will join this meeting without having to wait for someone to admit them. Okay, you just need to toggle it yes, no, yes, and no again. Next is alarms when callers join or leave. So what happens under this is that you may want to receive an alert when someone calling in by phone joins or leaves your meeting. Also, your admin might have enabled these alerts by default, but you can still make changes from here. So you just need to toggle between yes and no. Then I did talk about who can present. Okay, so under who can present, you have the following options. Everyone, people in my organization and guests, and specific people only me. So anyone means everyone has the access. Anyone who will have the meeting link access will be able to join as the presenter. Then meet people in my organization. So uh, only people in my organizations will be able to join as presenters, but the external participants will join as attendees. Then we have specific people. So you choose people from this list of invites. That who will be my presenters, and then everyone else will again be as attendees. And then we have only me. So the organizer is the presenter right here. Now we have another option as allow mic for attendees. Allow mic as in to avoid these distractions. In right now we are having a very large meeting, and I may want to decide that when attendees can unmute or share their video. So I can just manage all this right from here. Also the same goes for camera, that whether I want them to enable them or not. So right now I put them to yes, so that's why you are all able to unmute yourself. If I just put it down to no, you won't be able to unmute throughout the meeting. Then we have record automatically. So if you turn on this option, what is happening is that as soon as the meeting starts, the recording will begin by itself. Right now what I had to do is I had to go to the meeting options, the more actions tab, and then I went on to start the meeting recording. But right now, if I put down this from before itself, I'll be able to as soon as this meeting would have started, everything would start recording. And then you have then we have allow meeting chat. Meeting chat, okay, in general, so people who are on the meeting invite can participate in the meeting chat before, during and after the meeting, okay, by default. But in case you disable this option, there will be no meeting chat at any time. So if I have disabled it, and under this in meeting only, what will happen is that the meeting chat will be unavailable before and after the meeting, okay, but while the meeting is going on, you'll be able to chat. Next is allow reactions. So you can choose whether or not people are able to use the live reactions in a meeting. So let me show you how this works. When I put down this as no, what will happen is that under this option you will be still able to raise hands, but the reaction part, that won't be able, that won't be possible. Can I show you how to do that? Here, can you see you have this live reactions? So these are all the live reactions, but if I would have disabled it, none of the options would have appeared. Only this one option is enabled under that. So these are some of the few options that we have with bypass lobby options we have. Okay, let me now switch back to our PowerPoint. Next up we have is add Microsoft Teams to your SharePoint team site. Let me mention that what you can do here with Teams site is here what is happening. Previously it used to happen that any kind of data, okay, that is available under under SharePoint, you can see it on Microsoft Teams tab, okay. But now what they have enabled is that it can go both the ways. Just to make some points, let me start with again the basic part. SharePoint is the database of Microsoft Teams. So if you are sharing files, they are all shared on SharePoint. That is fact one. Fact two is that when Microsoft Teams have evolved this experience overall, wherein what happens is that as soon as you connect your SharePoint to Teams, you will be able to choose that what lists, libraries, pages, all you want to bring under Teams as tabs in the under this default general channel. One more option, just to state them, that using these SharePoint pages is a very great way to consolidate and share your content in the right context. You can use your images, Excel, Word, PowerPoint documents, even the videos, links, Twitter feeds, and much more, on all under the same page. So let me show you how you can do all this all together. Give me one moment. I'll just toggle between it again. Right here I am under Microsoft Teams. Okay, let me close this. Okay, now let me go to Teams now. Okay, point number one is that you have here more options under these are your different set of teams. All these teams, whatever the files that you share under these teams, they are all again, to state the fact that they are all have the database under SharePoint. The same thing. Now what you can do is go here and put down open on SharePoint. What will happen is that all the files that you might have shared under this general tab, okay, all you can see as a list right here. That is point number one. Secondly, what you can do is you will be able to add add them as tabs. Okay, so for example, you want direct access to any of your SharePoint site or any of the document library. All you need to do is just click here. The another option is that you can put down a SharePoint page itself as your one of the tab. It can be news, home, anything. Another option is that if you want to post it as a to this channel, about that I have included one new tab to this. you can just put a tick mark to this. So these are the options that you have with how you can integrate your SharePoint with Microsoft Teams. And previously, just to mention, it was only possible one way, but now they are doing it both the ways. You can access it from your SharePoint. If you add something here, it will be reflected here. Here as well. So, and you can just add it through as a tab: document library, SharePoint, SharePoint pages, and SharePoint. When you do SharePoint, it is this tab will be added right here itself. So these are the following options how you can have this SharePoint and Microsoft Teams integration all together. All right, going back. History menu. History menu is let's say you need to quickly and easily get back to the areas that you have recently been into Teams. Okay. So all you need to do is open the history menu by hovering over the back arrow and forward arrow, which is located on near your search bar. I'll show you. I hope you can see it on through this image. So while in this menu, you'll be able to use the arrows to go backward and forward. Let me show you how this works out. Let me go back here. Let me go to my chat. Okay, I'm not sure if this can be visible. I don't have much chats here, but you will be able to do it right. Let me show you one of my teams. I'll show you how this works out. I hope you guys can see what happened here, right here. Can you see whatever I had opened last? I'll be able to see all of them in a quick view. Now, if I go back, I'll be able to see what I opened last. Plus, next option is that can you see everything that I opened lately? It is coming from the back option. Now let me go to my forward option. I'll be again redirected back. So when all you need to do is you just need to hover over it. When you hover over it, you can just access this. Plus, this list is it will show you the latest 12 unique areas that you had lately visited, and this could include everything. Right from your, let's say, activities, channels, conversations, tab, files, applications, and just about everywhere else you can go in Teams. Okay, so this is how the history menu works like. Okay, share from Microsoft Teams to Outlook. Okay, this is very much helpful when you can leverage this in places where let me show you how it works out. Give me one moment. Let me switch back here. I am going to my Teams channel, okay, and what happened is that consider this as one of the announcement that I had that was posted in your channel. Now in regard to this particular channel, you just posted it on your Teams channel, but you might still want it to be broadcasted through your emails. All you need to do is you need to go on these 3 points and put down share to Outlook. This is pretty much convenient under the places where you want to leverage the information which were discussed over the Teams messages, and you still need to continue the conversation without losing context in the email. So I hope you guys can see that the whole chat has been configured right here. So now I can start the conversation right from here in this Outlook email chain. So this was another option that we have. All right, next we have is the together mode. Okay, for this again I'm going to ask 10 of you, please voluntarily switch on your cameras. Under this option, I just mentioned last time that only auditorium mode was available, the setting, but now we have an improved experience with together mode. Let me show you how. Let me go back to our Teams. I'm requesting 10 of the participants to please switch on their cameras. Okay, great. So with this, this feature, what happens is that all you need to, how to first access this, I'll show. Go to more actions. Wait, just a moment. Let me dismiss this. Go to more actions. You will have an option together mode. Okay. This is like a virtual space. I talked about this last time, but let me show you. This is so much helpful in cases where people are they have long meetings, large meetings, and still even this is pretty much helpful in the education center education sectors, where we have a strength of 50 students attending one live session, and we as a teacher, you might want to keep a watch that what's happening under what are my students actually doing. So this is in the last session we had this auditorium setting, but now what has the improved experience says that you have the change scenarios. You go here, put down change scenes. Now we have so many options. Also, please note that this supports up to 50 videos. You will have it on right on top. Here only 5 videos. You will have different set of, can you see we have a conference room, the classroom setting, auditorium gold, coffee shop, so many others. Let's see if we can try one. Let's try the classroom. All I need to do is apply now. Let's see if this works. This works now. Okay, the same, if you want to change this scene, you can do the same thing right from here. Under together mode, you have change scene, both the ways. You can do it from here, you can do it from here, both the ways. All right, fine. Thank you, everyone. This should work on together mode. So these were some of the prime features we have with together mode. All right, going back. Okay, meeting and calling recording stored in OneDrive and SharePoint. Okay, so I would say as today we just like today we are going we have a meeting recording, so they will be stored under OneDrive or SharePoint. So there are 2 pointers right here, that for example, if this is if there is a known channel meeting. What is known as a non-channel meeting is that if we are having a one-to-one meeting or an instant meeting, under that scenario the recording is stored in a folder which is named recordings, that you will find at the top level of your OneDrive for business, and it will be shown under to that people who have started the meeting recording. The second scenario is for channel meetings. Channel meetings means the ones which have been scheduled, the ones which are under which there are a specific from one particular channel you have shared a meeting invite. Under that point, the recording will be it is stored in the Teams site documentation library, and it will be under the same folder name, that is recordings. And these all will be stored under SharePoint. So these are the 2 options that we have for storing your meeting recordings. Next is we are having templates for creation of a new team. Okay, templates in Microsoft Teams, it's a very new and useful capability for administrators to quickly deploy teams in their organization effectively. So under this, users are given the choice to choose a specific sort of template that best suits their team type, and they'll be able to they want to create with a variety of predefined and customizable channels, tabs, or pre-installed applications. In case you are not able to find any pre-created templates that fits your need, you also be able to start it from the scratch. So let me just show you how you can do this. But Microsoft publishes this a set of first-party templates, which I'll be showing you right now. And as an IT professional, you can always also create new custom templates for your organization. This will actually allow you to standardize your, let's say, team structures, surface the relevant applications that you use on your day-to-day basis, and scale the best practices. Okay, so let me show you how this can be done. Right now I am in a Teams, under Teams I am in a general channel. Now for example, I want to create a new team. I will go here. Now I will click here, create a team. Can you see that this is the customizable, means you are going to start from scratch. You can do it from pre-configured group or team, the template, or else I did mention that Microsoft themselves publish a set of this first party templates. Okay, so these are the following: manage a product, manage an event, and so on. Under this, what will happen is that, let me show you. As soon as I'll click here, can you see Under this, what will happen? It will show me all the channels that will come under this. Like right now, I can see only the general channel. Under this Bitscape Infotech Private Limited, I have only one channel. But if I say manage a project is one of my new team, then under that there will be 4 different channels, and 6 applications will be previously configured. Means the ones which are we see on the as a tag. These will be the ones. Next, what kind of team will this be? Is it private, public, so on? If you do, once you do private, it will be you'll be able to add members as per your requirement. If you do public, anyone in your organization will be able to join. Now, all right, let me show you how you can enable this from your even admin side. I am going to show you. Just give me one moment. I guess. Okay. So I hope can you. This is my admin center. From admin center, you need to go to Teams. As soon as you'll go to Teams, the dashboard will appear. Just let wait to get to direct. Okay, this is directed on our dashboard. Now all you need to do is you go on this Teams. I mentioned some of the policies today. You will be able to enable all of them from Teams policies. Also update policies and so on as per your requirements. Now can you see here team templates that we are talking about right now? Okay, can you see that these are all the predefined templates? All you need to do here is that if I select this, okay, let me just select it and edit it. So whatever from the admin center I have enabled, you will be able to see it when you are creating a new team from your Teams channel. That is means the ones which I showed you from here. So can you see these are the same channels that we talked about. These are the same applications that we talked about. So from here you will be able to edit all of these templates. So and these are all the pre-configured ones. All you need to do is when create a new team on basis of this. You just need to add people to this team, this particular team. Okay. Moving on, we have new and simplified global notification settings. Let's just have a quick overview of this. So as a user, you will be now able to configure and customize your notification settings. We have a very newly designed notification settings section. I'll be showing you how. Under this, you will have, I will be mentioning a few right now, and then we'll talk few in the live demo. So one we have is the missed activity email. So for example, if you are stepping away from Teams for a while and you still need to be notified that okay, what happened under Teams, then you'll be notified via email. How frequently do you want to be notified? You can put it down through this, that as soon as possible, once every 10 minutes, every hour, and so on. Then you have Windows 10 native notification and theme. So there are 2 types of styles you can enable. One is the built-in Teams style, and then you have the Windows native style. Under the Windows native style, this has a one benefit that it will help you to focus, because we have that focus assist mode. It will help you. It will avoid all the distracting notifications while you need to actually focus on work. And all the sort of notifications, they will come under the Windows 10 Action Center. All the notifications under one place. I hope you guys have seen that. Then we have is the chat preview notifications. Okay, so for example, I hope see in between if you all are messaging, I can you guys can see that I'm being notified, but still you can't see the message. So this helps me to keep my the privacy from my end. So these are the few sort of notification settings that one can do. Let me show you how we can actually do this. I need to go right here on this top, go to settings, go to notifications. So this was one missed activity emails. Then we have the following options. Then we have appearance and sound, notification style, Teams built-in means the Teams style that we have right now enabled. And then we have the Windows one. Then show message preview. When I enable it means whenever I am getting notified, I will be able to see what message is it exactly. Play sound for incoming calls and notification. Yes, no, you can put that down. Okay. Under this Teams and channels, what happens is here is that you are selecting that for which Is it for all activities should you be notified? Should you be notified only for the mentions and replies, or you can just get it customized? Should be banner and feed or only in feed, and these are the options you get with it. So these are certain set of options that you can get it customized. Then you have chat, meetings, people, other. Under all this, all you need to do is go on edit, and you can again change the kind of notifications that you want, banner and feed or only in feed. Only in feed means that you will be notified via activity option. Okay, so these are some of the primary options you have with notifications, managing your notification. Okay, set your out of office from Teams. So for example, you are going to be out of office for, let's say, out maybe for a conference, okay, for the whole week. Then if then you need to notify, maybe let's say your colleagues, that I'll be out, please, I'll be coming back next week, we'll get in touch then. Okay, so under that scenario, if you want to put down a message, then all you need to do is turn on the automatic replies. Also, you have so many options under this. Let me show you what you can do with this. Just go here. You will have two set of options. One you have from under your profile picture. You need to do is set status message. You can put down the message, show when people message me. Clear status message after means if you have sent someone the message and you want it to be cleared, you have the following options. And under the same one, you can switch to schedule out of office. The experience looks like all you go to, it is the same way. Let me show you how you can do is go to your general here, go down. Can you see out of office? Just all you need to do is schedule. Now here again I'll be turning on my replies, out of office message. Send replies outside my organization only to my contacts, all external senders. You can put down here. Send replies only during a particular period of time. So for example, if you are out for let's say from September 2 to coming September 10, and from this time to this time, you can put down the duration as well. So these are some of the settings for out of office. All right, switching. Then we have is automatically adjust mic sensitivity. So this option, it is you'll be able to again do it from your settings and devices. So sometimes what happens is that if you are today's headphone, you are using something else, you still want that your mic sensitivity should be adjusted accordingly, even though you are changing your device. So all you need to do is go on device, and you need to just toggle that automatically adjust the mic sensitivity. What it will do is it will automatically pick up what kind of headphone or sort of device that you are using, and it will adjust the sound accordingly. Then we have next option is have small group discussions with breakout rooms. Okay, as of now I haven't enabled it, but let me just mention this, how it works out, because this is pretty much very helpful, I would say, in scenarios where education sector comes into picture. So for example, right now we are all in a meeting. Okay, let me show you if this works out. Right now we all are in a meeting. Okay, on this top, let me see if this is coming. Okay, on this top you will have one more option. The option would just slightly look like this. Right here, there's two tabs like this. So under that, what will happen, you will be able to break out rooms. Okay, so what does breakout room actually mean? Let me state that first. In all, but it can be hard to have open discussions and a meaningful exchange of ideas when you are in a very large meeting. Okay, so what you can do is you can create a breakout rooms to bring the participants into very small groups for a lively conversation, or let's say in case you need a brainstorming session. This is pretty much available on the desktop version of Teams, and you can create and manage the breakout rooms. Organizers will be able to jump between the rooms. They will be able to put down the announcement and bring everyone to the main meeting as well. But let me show you how you can work with this. I hope this. I'm just going to show you with this image how it would work like. First, click on this. when you enable this from your admin side, these is the option, or let's say the icon that will appear. Under that, you will, once you click this, you will have this screen appearing on your sorry, page. Under this, there are two set of options you will have. One is that let's say how many how many rooms do you need. It can be any sort of, right now, let's say if you have two, if you want to create two meeting rooms, because there are one students belonging to the science and one set of students for mathematics, then you can put down on both of them into two different rooms. As of now, you can the maximum number of breakout rooms you can create is 50. That is the maximum strength you can create right now. Okay. Then you will have two options, that whether you want the teams to assign people to rooms automatically, or you want to choose the people for each room yourself. So by default it will allow 21. When you do manually, you will have to select each one by one. I'll show you how you can do that. Please note that this is when you are selecting automatically or manually, this is the only time you can choose to have people automatically assigned to breakout rooms. You won't be able to change this option later in the meeting. Next is that you will, when let's say if you choose automatically, then the people will be assigned to breakout rooms as soon as you open them. Okay. But if you are choosing manually as your option, what happens is that you will be able to assign them. Let me show you how assign would work. So this is how the assign would look like. Under breakout rooms, you will have to, all you need to do is you will have to choose the people who will share this breakout room by there will be a checkbox next to their names. You just need to select that, and once that is done, can you see here the assign button? You just need to click that. As soon as you are assigning it, they will all be seen under one breakout room. So these are the few options that you have with breakout rooms. Okay, just last time we had one request that you want to see how you can add third-party applications while using Microsoft Teams. So what you can do is, right now I already opened it, but what you can do is go to applications right here. From this you'll be able to see all sorts of applications that Microsoft by default provides, and you'll be able to see them on this navigation pane. Just to show you one, let me put down, let's say, which one should I put down? There is this Zoom button. I guess Zoom is pretty much useful when you say on day-to-day basis. Then we have praise and all the options as well. Next week, and okay, I forgot to mention this same thing. If you want to add here, you'll be able to do it from this three buttons, that more added applications. So what happens is here that the ones which I have added from here, I can see it right here in this list as well. Okay, for example, let's just select any one which might not be there, because I had already selected few of them in the past. If I say weather, okay, I get the option to add. So when I add this, I might be able to see it right here on this list. Okay, let me go back. Sorry. I might be able to see it under this list. Next is, let's say I want to start the Zoom. Can you see that under the navigation pane I have it right here? So these are the third-party applications you can directly add to. Please go to apps, and any of the third-party applications, Zoom, SurveyMonkey that you mentioned last time, we can have it configured on your navigation pane, and you will have a very easy to use and a very good experience while using Microsoft Teams, everything under one single window. And all right, let's moving ahead. All right, so this was it for today. Thank you very much everyone for being part of this session and taking out your valuable time. I hope you all have enjoyed this amazing presentation, and you have all great takeaways. If you have any question, the floor is open, but before that I would like to check out all the, let's say, the queries that we have. Just give me one moment. Can we reply to a specific message in the chat? It will help to give precise responses. Yes, we can definitely do that. Should we get the recording of the session, please? Yes, you'll get the, I mentioned in the past, sorry, in the starting of the session, I'll be sharing the meeting recording early next week. Okay, replying again, can we reply to a specific message in the chat? Okay, can you go to, let's say this was my specific, I'm in a channel and I want to reply to one specific, all I need to do is click on reply. When I'm clicking on reply, I'm replying to this one particular conversation. When you connect Teams to either SharePoint, Outlook, does SharePoint Outlook need to be the web online version, or you can connect it with your own premise version also? It is all available on the on-premise version also. Can we schedule the meeting invitation from the web Outlook? Yes, you can definitely do that from the. We discussed about this scheduling meeting invitation from web Outlook, but again, we'll be also sharing with you guys the last meeting invite. Last meeting recording, so you can get the gist of all these basic features. But let me show you. Let's say web Teams. This is my web Outlook. All you need to do is go on one particular, just click on it, and you can, you get different sort of options that what kind you'll be able to create the new meeting invite from here itself. This is one sort of thing you can do it. Setting the meeting invite, how to export the list of attendees. List of attendees, we did talk about it last time as well, I guess. I will share the recording. When we reply to specific created teams, it won't alert others. Yes, it will alert everyone in those particular channel if you are replying to one specific conversation. Zoom, SurveyMonkey, etc. Third-party apps are chargeable. No, they are not chargeable. They are all part of when you go to these applications, Microsoft have them published, and you can easily configure them with your Microsoft Teams. Is it possible? Is it possible Teams screen share when web Teams? Yes, you can definitely do the sharing screens both the ways. It works for online and web version. Okay, since we are having a lot of questions, I'm trying to answer as many as I can, but I'm going to give this 5 minutes or let's say 2 another minutes, and whatever questions then you have next, please keep on posting or just write back to me on my email ID, and I'll be answering to you definitely. Coming back, as when it is done from web Outlook, the link is not from the web Outlook, the link is not created to join a call. Join a call. I didn't get this one. Are you saying that the Teams Teams link to join a call that might not appear? Are you talking about that? Let me work on this again. I'll come back to this. Reiterating, I mean a direct message possible to particular message in the personal chat. This option is available in the mobile app. Wouldn't find it on the desktop app. Okay, yes, okay, I got your question. Yes, this option is only available on the mobile app. Desktop app, it is not enabled by Microsoft yet. From where I can enable this option breakout room. Okay, for enabling this breakout room, I did show you how to go to your admin portal. So from your admin portal, you need to enable this option. Once you enable this, you need to only follow the options that I showed you, that which kind of symbol you need to click on. Once you'll be able, you'll be clicking on that symbol, you will get the next options are pretty much understandable, that whether you want to, how many kind of breakout rooms you want to create and so on. But yes, you definitely need to enable this from your admin center. Okay, I guess someone has answered already. Sami, please share an option where all my chats are hidden right now if my screen is visible. Okay, I'm not into this whole conversation, but Samir, I will be definitely looking into all your questions from this chat history, and we'll try to revert back. Okay, there are no such options. Okay, got it. Teams meeting can be via Polycom device. I'll check about this whether we can do this or not. I'll get back to you, Sankit. And is there a way to delete a chat? Why? Yes, there is definitely a way to I cannot show you right now because it will open all the personal chats, but all you need to do is just go and click on these three dots. Sorry, on that three dots you'll get on the side, and just click on delete a chat. But this is possible on one-to-one basis. Can we export participant list? Yes, that is possible. In which tab I found? Okay. Everyone, I am definitely looking into your questions. The ones I haven't answered, I'll be looking back and reverting back to you on your email IDs. But since we have time constraint, I would like to conclude this webinar. I know I did stretch it a bit, but I just wanted to show all the recent features that we have with Microsoft Teams. But we do value your feedback. Do write us back about how your experience was with us today. Tell me your thoughts on this session. We welcome any sort of new ideas. And in case you have any thoughts on which another topic you might be interested in and you would like to attend that, please let us know. And we'll be again, just to mention, we'll be shortly sharing the customer feedback forms to you all. Please do write me back. Okay, and whichever questions I have left to to answer back, I will look into this chat history and try to revert to you. In case I forget, please write me back on the email and we will surely revert you back. All right, hoping that you all enjoyed today's session, and I hope to see you all in the upcoming sessions that we have. Thank you, everyone.